Hi guys, this is going to be a how-to video. So first of all, I posted a video a couple months ago where I was growing a little concerned about my legal status in the States because my visa was running out. It ran out back in January. Now today's the 1st of April and it's not an April Fool's video. And about a month ago, I got a reply for my visa extension application and it got approved. So I'm here legally again until mid-July. What will happen after that, I will tell you. I already have a plan. But I just want to talk you through the process of extending your temporary visa while you're staying in the United States. So let's say you came here on a B1, B2, and you were given a 6-month stay, and you want to stay longer for some reason. So you just have to apply for an extension, okay? And then you get if you're approved, you get this, which is like a one-page document, and it contains your basic details, but most importantly, it contains the I-94, which is your kind of residency card while you're here on a short-term basis. You used to get the I-94 physically as a piece of paper. You don't do that anymore. It's electronic. But when you get the extension, they give you a physical I-94. And it's kind of right here at the bottom of the page. I'm just covering my name. I don't want to reveal my full name. But yeah, you get your I-94. You're good to go. So here's how to get your stay extended by another 6 months. Damn it, I was going to screen record. I'm a little sick, so excuse my hoarse voice today. It's a different day today. I have to renew my subscription to Office for $100 for another year, which I'm not going to do now. So I'm just going to handhold my phone and record my screen the old-fashioned way. And I want to show you guys the process for renewing your I-94. So basically, you need to send them an application pack. This is what the application pack requires. The I-539 form. This is a form for extension of your non-immigrant status, and this is the address where you can get it. So we can try to go to the website. So let's take that address, copy, and let's just stick it in Google. And you get the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services website. And the first form you see is our form, the I-539. You click on that, and you will get a PDF download version. You can open it right here. And that will give you the form. This is what the form looks like. Application to exchange your non-immigrant status, to extend or change. And it's self-explanatory. So we're not going to go through the whole form because I'm sure you're smart enough to fill it out yourself. You don't have to fill out every single part, just the parts that are relevant to you. And that's it. Now, additional information. So you can either fill this out here. What they mean by additional information is information such as probably why you want to stay in America longer. And I just wrote a separate letter. I wrote on a separate piece of paper. I didn't really type on these lines. This is the main application that you need to fill out, sign, and send. The next thing you need to include is your latest I-94 form. This is normally electronic, like I said earlier, and you can print it out. I'll show you. So if we want to get this, we go to this address. I think I already have this form opened actually. Yeah, but if you paste that address, then it takes you to another government website. It's the I-94 website. And here, there'll be a tab at the top where you just go to get most recent I-94. And you click that. And okay, get some security notice. You consent and continue. And then you enter your travel information. So your first name, last name, birth date, passport number. I'm not going to do that obviously, but once you do that, then it it gives you your latest I-94, and this is what it looks like. I'll show you. So let's see, I've got one that we can open up. So this is my latest I-94 that you get from the website. This is what comes up. Tells you when you enter the United States, last under what visa, and what date you admitted under. So you can see that I was admitted until the 15th of January 2019. So yeah, and you need to include that in your application. The next thing you want to include is evidence of financial support, either your own bank statements or a sponsor form. And if you include a sponsor form, you need to include bank statements from a sponsor, okay? The sponsor form is called the Affidavit of Support, and it's called the Form I-134 right here. Again, it's very easy to find. All you got to do is just throw that in Google, USCIS Form I-134. It'll spit it out. In Google, go on the website. Just make sure you go on the correct website. Don't go on some, agents or company website. Go on the government website and download that form. And in my personal case, I didn't want to show my bank statements for privacy reasons to immigration because I had some money come in there and I didn't want them questioning where that money came from. I didn't want them saying, "Oh, we think you're working here." Because I have an income from the UK and I paid it to my American account, and I don't want them saying, "Oh, you're making money in America," and it would just open a can of worms. So I decided to have a sponsor. I asked a friend of mine who I know has some extra money to sponsor me. So he had to fill out that form. I actually filled it out for him, and he just had to kind of go over it and sign it. So your sponsor has to fill it out. The only pain in the ass is that the sponsor then has to provide 3 months of bank statements. So my friend had to give me 3 months of bank statements from his bank account to show that he has sufficient funds to sponsor me should I need any extra money, so that I'm not a burden on the U.S. government. But again, the form is self-explanatory. Either your parents can fill this out, or it doesn't have to be a relative. It can be a friend. So yeah, that's another form you need to include unless you're giving them your own bank statements from the last 3 months. And I don't know what the amount is that they're happy with. I think as long as you got several $1,000s, you should be okay. You don't need to have 50,000 or 100,000. I think if you got a few grand, and let's say you need $1,500 a month to support yourself, so you should be okay with that. Okay, the final thing that you need to include is reason for why you want to extend your stay and your activities up to the point of applying. So they want to know why you want to stay for another 6 months, right? Because you obviously came to visit and your visit is over. So you need to give them a believable, solid reason for why you want to stay for another 6 months. And another thing they want to know is what you've been up to for the first 6 months. So they want to know, basically they want to know that you haven't been working. So you need to attach evidence for this. So like receipts, let's say you went to Disneyland, you want to show them the pictures or receipt from Disneyland. Let's say you went to Yosemite National Park, you want to show them the same. Evidence all the trips that you took, okay, with bank statements, with bills. They want to know that you're being a tourist, that you're seeing things. They want to make sure that you're not working, okay? They want to make sure you're being a real tourist. So I've done that. I've included a shitload of stuff. So I can show you, for example, like a couple of pictures. These are just examples. But, this is a picture from Joshua Tree National Park. This is a picture of me with the actress who plays Amy Falfowler on The Big Bang Theory, Mayim Bialik. I actually went to a filming. I've got a separate video about that. Yeah, so I included a shitload of stuff. They basically want to know that you're not working, that you're here as a tourist and you're doing touristy things. You're traveling, so you want to see a lot of if you're. I don't know why you would be doing this if you have the same reasons as I do. But if you're really a tourist, then you will have a ton of pictures, and you just send those pictures, send those receipts as evidence of your traveling. And the more states you have seen, the better. I'm in California, so it's actually a huge state, and I haven't really been to that many other states on this visit, so it's a little tricky because I'm like, well, here I am in California, here I am in California, here I am in a different part of California. But because California is so big and there's so much to see, I think it obviously it worked because I got my extension approved. I also went to Nevada a bunch of times because it's just close, it's just across the border, and I showed him a lot of pictures from Las Vegas. I went to Arizona. It's also close. So anyway, that worked for me. But yeah, that's what you need to do. Now, one thing that happened when I first applied, I actually didn't get my visa approved right away. This was really scary. I got a letter from immigration. I open it, and it says, request for evidence. So I was like, what the hell is this? So I'll show you this letter. This letter basically requested more evidence to support my case, which is why it's so important to make a strong case to begin with, because then you don't go through the stress of having to do this. So maintenance of status. Apparently, submit a detailed chronological list with exact from to dates of all the activities which you've engaged in since being admitted to the United States. For example, if you were engaged in tourist activities, include all the towns and cities and tourist attractions, such as parks, museums that you have visited. So provide documentary evidence thereof, including receipts, bank statements, credit card statements, hotel invoices, rent receipts. So they're being very strict. They want to know what you've been up to. And I didn't do it the first time I applied. I did it the second time I applied, like I just showed you. I sent them pictures from my Big Bang Theory app filming. I sent them pictures from Vegas, from different national parks that I went to, from Los Angeles, and that kind of worked. Form I-94, I sent them the wrong I-94 because I've been to the U.S. so many times, I sent them the wrong one. So you just make sure you send them the latest I-94. Financial resources. This is important. Regulation required that, again, I didn't really have a sponsor. I just sent them the contract of my rental contract from England, because I have a house in England which I rented out. And the contract actually shows you that I have an income from the UK from renting out my properties. And they said, that's not enough. We want to see your bank statements. And like I said, I didn't really want to show them my bank statements because there's money coming in there, and I didn't want them asking more questions. What that money is from. It's just none of their business. It's my information. So I asked a friend to sponsor me, and my friend filled out the affidavit of a sponsor, and that's one of the options. You can see it right here, affidavits of support from a sponsor. I forgot about this. This is important. Intent to depart U.S. In your application, you requested submit evidence to establish that you have made arrangements to depart the United States. So this is tricky because they want to see that you're going to leave. They want to, because you're here on a non-immigrant status. So your official intention is not to stay. Even if you deep down want to stay, officially you're supposed to be leaving. So they want to see evidence for that. What I did is I had a letter from work. Basically, my work situation in the UK is that I told them, I have some good friends at work. I have a lot of good relationships. I've built a lot of good relationships in my life. And I asked my senior manager if I could ever come back to that work at any point in time. And because I was a good worker, he said I could. So I have a letter from work back in Barclays basically saying that they're willing to take me back on at any time, and there's a job waiting for me. I showed him that letter. And I also said that while I don't have a return ticket because tickets are so expensive, and obviously I need to know whether they're going to confirm my extension before I buy a ticket, because if they don't confirm it, I'm going to have to spend more money on a different ticket. So I got away without showing them my return ticket, which I didn't have. I just got away by showing them a letter from my employer from work back in England that I have a job waiting for me when I get back, that I'm still employed. And that was a bit of a stretch, but that was what the letter said. And that was enough for them. So, yeah, you can, I mean, I don't actually think they check the letters. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but, just give them a letter that will show that you're still employed, if your employer can do that. So that's kind of it. When I got this letter, I sent all the replies and all the additional evidence, and I got my status approved. So I'm here legally until July, and I will tell you later what I'm doing about that. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful.